Take a listen to what Dan Batard had to say about his comparison between LeBron James and Muhammad Ali. Take a listen to him here.
I want to have the macro conversation, okay? Because the micro conversation is absolutely, is he worth every penny right now this year's salary cap sport? I want to have the bigger conversation of how the sports coverage has changed in 20 years that contaminates and corrupts the way we view someone like LeBron, because when you know what everyone is making all the time, you're perpetually in sports media assigning value to them, and then Skip Bayless makes a career of saying you're not as valuable as you think you are, making us all more valuable. Like the criticism game of 20 years that LeBron James has survived to hold that flag, Kaepernick couldn't survive it under that flag. And I tell you again, look at what happened when the temptation arrived for Tiger Woods. Because LeBron James's greatest controversies are he was his own man in a way that was publicly vocal in a way Tiger and Michael never would. And when he carries that flag, it means something different. He's not doing it just to sell sneakers, but he will. But it means something to him to be the oldest athlete in the game and to have survived 20 years of our endless bull about you're great, but not great enough.
Right. No, he's great. And, Dan, he has received over these 20 years a lot of praise as well. I mean, all we're saying is he's not as good as Michael. That's it. There's no shame in that.
Stugotz, it has always been delivered as there is shame in that. And for 20 years, a lot of people have profited off of how much crueler the coverage is of everything because we know everything about how much these people make, and we have an access to them that we didn't have during Michael Jordan's more mythological time. I know this happens every time, Stugotz, that I talk about LeBron. Every single time it happens where somebody is out there saying, you are giving too much praise to this person. He doesn't deserve the praise. And all I'm telling you is as close as someone can be in sports in the modern age, to the degree we'll allow it, because Ali was first.
Right.
To the degree we'll allow it, he is a combination of the modern Michael Jordan and the modern Muhammad Ali in the way that he is represented, overcoming what the body must to be Rafael Nadal and him, and to get to a game yesterday that you're watching that he's still, Stugotz, great at his age. I don't think we understand how unfair we've been to excellence during an era. Over the last 20 years, social media, mocking people. He was always chasing Michael, always chasing Michael. To see him holding that American flag, and that flag means something different than it did 20 years ago, but the thing holding it doesn't, it's still excellence for 20 years. Today's Ali. And you know how hard it is to tackle Michael Jordan as America's ultimate winner? Not even Brady could do it because he wasn't first. We have watched for 20 years somebody who holds that American flag in the middle of the Olympics, and once upon a time, right, because we don't treat Team USA this way. We don't treat anymore what it is that we're watching of this team and make it feel like it did when it was Jordan and Barkley. But imagine Michael Jordan at the end of everything, not shooting jumpers for the Wizards, older than any athlete out there and still deserving of holding the flag, how emotional you would have been watching it because you're so much nicer to him.
So you heard what Dan Batard had to say. If you listen to him, he brought up a point, which was, and something that really annoyed him. He said, there are a lot of people that are profiting off of negative coverage of LeBron James. That's true. There are. But what about all the people that have been making a lot of profit on all of the positive coverage of LeBron James? What about the Shannon Sharps of the world? What about the Nick Wrights of the world? What about the JJ Reddicks of the world? What about the Colin Cowherds of the world? What about the Gilbert Arenases of the world? What about all of these people that sit up there on a daily basis and twerk it up all over the table, knocking over people's drinks, running through the hallways, kicking through doors, throwing honey at people, wondering why they're not twerking with them over their LeBron James love affair? What about these people? What about the people that have also used MJ as a springboard to elevate themselves into the media space by basically poo-pooing MJ's career to elevate LeBron James? What about these people? I didn't hear any mention about that. If you listen to the gentleman If you listen to what the guy said, one of the guys on audio said, but we're just saying that MJ is better. Listen, it has nothing to do with the fact that MJ came first. It has nothing to do with that. It's that people believe he's not better than Michael Jordan. And because there are people that refuse to agree with those propagating that viewpoint, all of a sudden it is deemed as hate. I personally believe that him comparing LeBron James, think about it, LeBron James to Muhammad Ali is one of the most disgusting things I've heard anybody in sports media this year say. It's at the top. It is at the very, very, what Ali stood for, what Muhammad Ali stood for was bigger than the sport of boxing. Ali was bigger than boxing. Way bigger than boxing. Muhammad Ali refused to serve in the Vietnam War, because he was fundamentally, diametrically opposed to the U.S. government's position. And he didn't want the floodgates to open up where they were sending young black kids to go fight in that war. He was so stern in his conviction. He